pew, pew, pew.
Welcome, ToyBoyz fans, to another edition of the ToyBoyz podcast. My name is Chad, and I'm here with Avery, Eric, and Chris. ToyBoyz, assemble. Up first, gentlemen, I believe just the craziest, hottest news right now in the toy world is Hasbro laying off 20% of their workforce. What is this about, guys? What's going on?
Depends which of the toy lines you're talking about. Through the toy collectors I know in my area, we're kind of losing our mojo for the Star Wars line. I mean, they're just putting out a lot of lazy repaints, and they just announced everybody's been wanting super battle droid from Attack of the Clones or whatever, and they finally released one where they package it with that battle droid that has C-3PO's head on it. That like everybody hated that whole sequence in the movie. It was really silly. And that's the only way to get it now. You got to buy it in a freaking 2-pack, and you can't army build them because then you're left with a whole bunch of 3PO.
Oh, that is
droid.
Oh man.
So it just seems like every announcement they have, every release they have, at least my small circle that we've got, we're just like, that's an easy pass, or we'll wait for clearance on that one at best, that kind of thing.
So let me ask you about the clearance, because I don't know if you guys have been seeing this in your area. I've been seeing a lot of posts in a local, I live in Orlando, and I've been seeing a lot of posts in an action figure Orlando group that a lot of guys are picking up a lot of these figures like at Ross. Like,
yeah,
clear, right? Am I, what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just
I've been wanting to go, but every time, like in my area, it's like I live near Frankenstein, so it's like people are there's like never anything like at Targets, or I have to drive like far away to like a Target, so I don't really know where too many Rosses are at. So it's just, for me, it's just like I don't want to drive and just end up empty-handed. So I do most of my toy hunting on OfferUp anyways.
Avery, are there any Hasbro figures or anything like that you're into?
So I literally just made an order for Hasbro from the website a couple of days ago. I got the Nick Fury from Secret Invasion. I got the Kamala Khan, and I got that from Big Bag Toy Store, but I got the Spider-Man animated series Green Goblin Mary Jane 2-pack.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then I also got the Green Goblin from Spider-Man No Far From Home. So I had to get that from both of those from Big Bad Toy Store because you couldn't get them on Hasbro.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about getting the Ghostbusters.
The HasLab. It was like
the HasLab, and I literally fell asleep and forgot to get it because I kept going back and forth on getting it because I didn't know if I wanted to get it because I didn't get to get the Proton pack, and I felt like I'd be halving it up without the Proton pack. So I missed out. When I go to Target, all they got is like lines from like last year still there, like stuff from What If and stuff like that.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff ends up at Ollie's. It feels like the ones that don't sell, the shelf warmers, end up at Ollie's and Ross and stuff like that.
I'm just saying I haven't seen no Marvel stuff. Usually, if it's a movie, it'll be out in the store for a little while, still lingering a little bit. But the stuff I've seen at the Targets that I've been to, and I've been to a few since I've been back in different areas, is just like What If. And I don't know if that second What If line came out early this year or not.
Oh, I got you.
So
Hasbro, they make the Marvel Legends line, don't they?
Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah. I just ordered a 2-pack from Big Bad Toy Store. I just pre-ordered it. I think it was yesterday.
The Wolverine one?
The Wolverine and Sabretooth. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Wolverine and I got the Wolverine Lalandra one too. I got both of them.
That's the one I want.
The Lalandra one?
Yeah, because I mainly want it just for her.
Oh yeah. Well, the Wolverine.
That's the same thing I said, Chris.
Yeah. I thought that was a weird pairing. Is there like some kind of Lalandra Wolverine?
So if you look on the back of the box, there's a cover with her and him looking like that weird alien looking way he looked.
Yeah.
The Brood?
Yeah, the Brood. Because I was like, where is this from? And then I looked through the pictures.
That makes
Which is okay. That's a figure that they need to go back and redo too.
Very cool. Yeah, it looks like Hasbro's gaming line, we were just talking about a little bit ago, is actually still going strong. They make, for those of you who don't know, they make Scrabble and Connect 4. Battleship, sorry, Hungry Hungry Hippo. So they make a lot of board games, and those seem to be doing really well. And I believe they owned Eric, were you saying they own Magic the Gathering as well? Which
Right,
seems,
and Avalon Hill, which are some of the more strategy board games.
yeah. I'm not
hardcore.
sure.
What about
Yeah.
also Dungeons and Dragons, or is that
I think they do. Yeah, because they had a bunch of figures come out with that recent movie.
didn't they also just announce that they were gonna team up with McFarlane as well?
They're gonna license out some of their properties
Okay.
for McFarlane. I forgot, it was some very specific line of figures that McFarlane did. Something about puzzles or pop-up or something. I forget what it was called, but it seemed like huge news at first. Like, kind of, it was more like a clickbait kind of headline. So once you read it, it was like, oh, it's just licensing out to them for this one very specific thing. So I don't think that's going to be any big impact. But just to add on to like the collector's perspective on things, me and my buddies, like, we've been really dialing back the pre-orders lately, just because there's been so much. Seems like every few weeks there's another live stream, and there's another wave of pre-orders. And if you collect multiple lines, it's like Marvel, Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe. It's just like every other week there's another live stream, there's another wave of pre-orders, and it can almost get kind of fatiguing, even though we're really into this. Just from how much money do you have to spend on this stuff? They're just to keep pumping out product, I guess, maybe trying to increase profits, but it's having like the opposite effect. Like, my friends are like, we're not pre-ordering any of this stuff unless it's a store exclusive, where it's going to be impossible to get, like a Walmart or a Target. Those will pre-order. The rest we'll just wait. And it is hard. You have the FOMO, like, well, if I just wait, is it going to be hard to find or not? You're rolling the dice.
Double.
Right.
Yeah.
You make for a few clearances, like you're just talking about Ross. Like, one of my friends went there and he got this, like, it was one of the G.I. Joe Croc Master with the crocodile. It was like a $39.99 figure, and he got it for less than $10.
Yeah.
But I mean, that thing came out like a year and a half ago. So
you play. It's a gamble, right? Can I get it if at a discount? If I do, is it going to be a year and a half from now, 2 years from now? I don't know, man. I'm kind of one of those people. I usually try and get it when I can, because that FOMO will hit. But at the same time, like, it is, you're talking about all these different pre-orders that hit at once. Avery, I think, has said it best in the past, where just like, they're doing too much. They're all doing too much. It feels like sometimes. The figure that I was kind of the exclusive I was on the hunt for recently was that 2-pack Kino and Foot Soldier from the Secret of the Ooze, right? And that's a Walmart exclusive. And thankfully, I went to a few Walmarts when it started hitting stores, and I wasn't finding anything. Thankfully, there was a local here, and again, that same kind of that Orlando Facebook group posted they're here, and so I had to drive. Like, I did literally a 45-minute trip there at 9:00 at night to Walmart, because I was like, I don't want to, but that can be exhausting. That's commitment and time and gas and money, and but I mean, I got what I wanted, but also, like, there's a hustle to it, right? If you want to get everything you want, there's a little bit of a hustle to it. So I always get a little wary from people in these Facebook groups, these toy groups, and you see them, they're like, man, don't let the FOMO get you. You got to chill, just wait for it. And like, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Like, sometimes you got to hustle a little bit, or you're going to miss out on something you want.
I'm 50-50 with you on that, Chad, because there was a 3-pack Seekers Decepticons that they bought out for the Transformers animated series that came out on Netflix back in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
So that original pack came out in Target only in 2019, and then it sold out, and then people were jacking the price up to like $200-$300, and then it ended up coming for sale on Big Bag Toy Store for at cost, which was like $70-something, like in 2021, 2022. And then if they have a sale at Christmas now, you can get it for like super dirt cheap now. Like, now I'm seeing stuff that I've already ordered, I can get for almost half the price on Big Bad Toy Store, and it's still there. It's a hit or miss of what's going to sell out What's not, like the Predator stuff, that sells out all the time, like gone. But yeah, it's a juggling of your priorities. Because one advantage I found when I was living in the States, and I had basically two different areas at my disposal. So I had the Richmond area, and then I had Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland area at my disposal. So that's a lot of targets that you got. Between them two, I could find stuff, there most of the time. And then by me working at night, like when they did the haulathon, I was able to get there and like the first haulathon and had a dude open the box for me and get what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or just be around and be able to check and get there. But then you see stuff you're thinking that's not going to be there. Then a month later, all the haulathon stock is there just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like 2 months later. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree with what Chris is saying though. Like the old days of driving from store to store to store looking for something. I mean, I hardly ever find anything I actually need anymore because I pre-ordered it all. So it just feels like a waste of time and gas and money. So I am more inclined to just sort of pre-order everything, at least the things I absolutely want and must have. I just pre-order them all because I don't want to have to think about, oh my God, this thing is discontinued now and I suddenly can't find it anymore.
Well, I kind of got to do that myself because I'm going away again. But, if I was here, I would try to get it in person. So
it is fun. Like I remember it was fun to go into a store. You kind of knew, specifically it was G.I. Joe 25th anniversary. I had been going through the wave collecting them. There was this one guy I needed, and I hit like a few stores and I walked in this one store and there it was. And you got this huge adrenaline rush of like, there it is. Like, it's like winning the lottery or something, like boom, and with pre-ordering, you don't have that. It's just things kind of showing up at your door, here and there. And I got so many figures piled up behind me that it's just kind of like when another one shows up, it's just kind of like, oh, cool. All right. Got another one.
Yeah.
You don't get the rush that you get in the store.
No, I know. I think we all do. I think we all know that exactly what you're talking about. I remember the first time I felt it personally, as an adult at least, because I remember being a kid and going on a Walmart and there was like a new wave of like Star Trek Playmates toys on the rack, and I remember freaking out about like when they did the classic series, like the movies. So all of a sudden they had like Kirk and everybody like in their motion picture outfits and stuff like that. I remember when that series came out, or when they released the Aliens action figures, when Kenner released that. I specifically remember that as a kid. As an adult, I remember a couple years ago when NECA started releasing the Gargoyles figures. And I got there right as the NECA rep was, putting out the figures, and I saw the Goliath right there in the box, and it was like the ultimate adrenaline rush to be there as they were pulling it out of the box, unseen by human eyes, really, you know what I'm saying, before it had hit the Target shelves. It was, I think we all know that rush. I think we all know that adrenaline rush.
Now you see the gargoyles everywhere too.
Everywhere. Yep, everywhere.
But I kind of get, I don't know if it's like a rush, but that excitement for now, even like I'm always on OfferUp. So it's like, if I see something pop up, I usually got to be like the first one to respond to the person and be like, hey, is this still available? And then if they're like, yeah, then I'm just like, all right, I'll be there, or I'll be there tomorrow. Or so it's like, then I start making these long trips. Like I'll drive like an hour, or sometimes like if there's traffic, I'll drive like an hour and a half or something somewhere out of the way, or like a detour, and I'll get it. But it's worth it. It's because, dude, like just like 2 weeks ago, I got, talking about Wolverine, I got that old Wolverine 4-pack that they had with like Callisto and
that was a 5-pack actually.
Cyber, Wolverine.
It was Lady Deathstrike, and no, not Lady Deathstrike. It was Omega Red. Yeah,
Omega Red. I got that set for like $20. Some lady posted up like it was like, yeah. I messaged her. I was like, hey, it's $20 for all of them. And she's like, yeah. She's like, I don't know why people keep asking me that. And I was just like,
because the original price on that was like,
do your research.
I bought that. The original price for that was damn near like $80.
Yeah, that's the cheapest I've seen. It was 80.
That no, I was just looking through my orders. That 5-pack in box when I bought it was like $100, but after tax it was like 123 because it was an Amazon exclusive.
Yeah.
So I bought it back in when did I buy it?
They still have them like for $80, I think, though.
2021. Now they got it for 195 on Amazon.
And that's wow. With Callisto and Omega Red, you're saying?
Yeah.
So it has Omega Red, Cyber, Callisto, Jason Wingard, and then of course Wolverine.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool that they had a Cyber toy because I was collecting Wolverine when he was fighting off against Cyber. When
he was kind of like one of those corny 90s characters, but I mainly wanted it for the Callisto.
Oh yeah,
I already had Omega Red.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that Callisto and Wolverine had any. Again, just like with him and Lilandra, I didn't realize that they had any kind of dealings. Really, besides fighting a little bit.
I think they just did that. I just think they just did that to fill out the.
Okay.
The 5-pack. Because the only time Callisto was around wasn't I'm not going comic book wise, but animation, the show wise, was when they were fighting the Warlocks.
Yeah.
In those episodes.
Yeah.
And they made her like really hot in that figure form. As opposed to the cartoon, I think she was.
Yeah, in the cartoon, she lives in a sewer and looks pretty busted. I mean, no offense to anybody out there who lives in the sewer, though. So, like, if the Ninja Turtles or anybody's listening, I have no offense. So. Yeah, she's got lipstick on. She's looking pretty good.
So then she's like, yeah, a bunch of people have been hitting me up about it, and I was like, I'll give you 30 if you hold it for me till tomorrow morning. And she's like, deal. So I drove like an hour out there, and I picked it up.
Was it in good condition?
I mean, it was loose. The figures were loose, but
I thought you meant it was in the box. My bad.
No, the figures were loose, but they were all there and all the accessories and everything. So
okay.
But I just always think it's funny that, like, because I don't have like my face or anything on my offer up, so people are probably like, oh, when they see me, they're just like, oh, it's an adult or something coming to pick up these toys. Or sometimes I'll go pick up the toys and it'll be like a kid or something that I'm buying the toys from. I'm like, I was like, oh man, I was talking to a kid.
He's like, here you go, mister.
Yeah, or like the parent will be like, the kid will come out of the house and the parents just like watching them from afar, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, here's your money.
Is that why you have hard candy in your pocket now? Here you go, little boy. Thank you for the toys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's if their parents aren't around, so I don't have to give them the money. I do the switch and grab. I could just, rip them off.
Rob them. Yeah, just rob little kids.
There's crazy little kids selling their toys.
I mean, dude, if I was just thinking, like, damn, where was this when I was a kid? Because I would have. I used to go around to like secondhand stores and sell my toys and get like nothing for them. Yeah. Like I'd sold like all my old comics. I sold like I had like all the original Star Wars figures. I sold those for like nothing, and now all that stuff is like 10 times what it was worth. Ugh.
Or your parents would say, you don't need this stuff anymore, and just trash it on you.
That's your trauma.
I think it happened to Avery told a story about his cousin breaking something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I told a similar story about when my brother was a little boy and he cut all the phaser beams off of my Playmates phasers. He ended up watching that podcast and he called it a pawn shop for something that happened 30-something years ago. Chris, I don't think you pre-ordered that XO6 Picard, Admiral Picard figure, right? The retired Admiral Picard.
No,
I paid my invoice on that a couple of days ago, so hopefully
Me too.
those will start. Avery, you got one too?
Yeah, but I missed out on the Pike and the Odo though. But I might, if they do immediate purchase, I might. I'm starting to kind of be like, should I really buy this or not? You know?
Yeah.
there's so many too that it's like hard to remember. Like it's like damn, did I pre-order that or
That's how I feel. That's how I'm
like
starting to
so
feel.
because sometimes I'll be on the fence about it and then like the pre-order window is about to close and I'm like, damn, did I pre-order it?
I think that's why when I see it, I'll pre-order it immediately because if not, I'll just forget.
Yeah.
And there's somewhere I'm like, did I pay? Like when he posted today, like, oh, the Picards are gonna ship soon. I was like, did I pay my invoice? I don't even remember. Like, that's how they get you. That's how they get. And I feel like, there's just so much between the pre-orders, like, and then paying the invoices, and it kind of feels like you're paying on it twice. It's a lot.
What's the most anticipated one that you're waiting for or that you want?
Oh, Avery, you want to answer that question? I might need a minute to think about that.
I don't even know, man. Like they're cool. Oh wait, I take that back. The Savick one, I think I pre-ordered that one. I don't know when that one's coming out. That Savick, that looked good. And I got the most advanced, the one that has like all the bells and whistles with
the
it.
jacket, the way to
That one.
Yeah.
I do have the Locutus. I might have two by accident. So
Locutus.
So, but I know that'd be cool to look. But the one that's most special to me, and I haven't even looked at it yet, is my Cisco. That's what got me in the EXO. Was getting that Cisco.
Same.
Did you get the standard or the
Oh, I've got the one with all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
I want just standard for him. So
yeah, that Avery, honestly, that was it for me too. That was my gateway drug to XO6 was
yeah, I'm really about to say that.
Yeah, that came out. And I had just been promoted at my job. And that was my, like, I'm going to buy that for myself as just a little treat, as like a little congratulations to myself. And then it was like, I was like, exactly. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you know what? They got Archer and Strand up there. Might as well get that. No, they got this. And they got Janeway. Might as well get Janeway. Well, if I got Janeway, then, this EMH, I'll get the EMH too from this guy. And then Tuvok is out there. So I got to get the Tuvok. And then it was just everything. It was like the floodgates open.
Yeah, I'm missing some stuff. I don't think I got the EMH. I didn't go back and get the Mira Sulu or anything.
He's hard to find right now too.
The EMH is hard. I don't even remember how I got it. Like I try and keep a spreadsheet with all my stuff on it, with a list of everything, and I should have put like where I got that one from because that one was probably a little more difficult to find. I don't remember if I got it from Time Walker. I don't know. Like they sometimes don't have back stock for a little while, so I'm not sure if I got it from them or what.
Yeah. That's one of the ones I regret, like not picking up when it was around the $200. Like you could find it, but I've seen it for like $300.
Yeah.
But I think the one I'm most anticipating is Pike right now.
I think so too. That's for the Pike. I think it's Pike for me. That's because I'm such a big fan of Strange New Worlds, and it's a good looking figure. I think it'll look good. And Anson Mount is a beautiful man. So just like putting him back, aesthetically, he will increase, the value of your collection just by looking at him. So agreed, 100%. Cool. I know they got a spot coming out for Strange New Worlds too. They've got several figures on pre-order with them.
When's Eric gonna join the XO6 club?
I don't know. That's a good question. They I think they're
and
trying
Jared.
to calm down on. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, Jared, where you at?
Jared? When's Jared gonna buy anything?
Oh,
Been called out.
I haven't seen him. Where's that mantle?
Oh yeah, where is the mantle? Yeah.
I want proof.
So some other kind of, I don't know if I would call this big news in the toy world, but this has definitely been a hot topic for me over the last few weeks because this does affect me. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle van, the Toon van from NECA that shipped out at least a month ago for most people, But there are a lot of people out there who have, we got our tracking information and nothing has happened. It's been sitting in Memphis, or at least that's what it says. But I ordered 2, so that's like a $500 investment.
Damn.
Yeah, that's $500 purchase plus shipping, from 20 months ago or to almost 21 months ago at this point. Which I would, because I was just going to sell one, just like most people are.
One of my friends was complaining. He was trying to compare a Hasbro figure to a Mythic Legions figure. If you guys are familiar with those,
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, please educate us.
The Four Horsemen Studios. I think they have this line called Mythic Legions, and they're more of a premium figure. They're 6-inch scale, but they're like $55, I think. And they're not based on any other like media property. It's just like their own characters.
Oh, nice.
I think they're trying to build like a mythology around. Yeah, there you go.
I have the Cosmic Legions.
Okay, that's sort of another offshoot of it.
Yeah.
More sci-fi based or something.
Yeah.
I got that Ghost of Jacob Marley over there. You just scrolled past.
From
right there on the left. Yeah.
I have the Krampus one.
Yeah, me too. I was really impressed with it. It was that and the Headless Horseman were the only.
I wanted that one. The Headless Horseman's badass.
Yeah, I saw both of those. Okay, that's cool.
I actually have an extra one, Chris, if you make me a halfway decent offer.
Oh, for the Headless Horseman?
Yeah.
Do you have the original or the repaint?
The original.
Wow.
I'll send you some pics. You can.
Okay. Yeah.
I was trying the whole buy 2, sell 1 strategy, but that must be such a niche thing that it's just not enough in it.
But the people that are into it are like heavily into it. Like they have their own convention. They have their own conventions.
One of my friends went up to that convention.
Yeah.
In New England area somewhere. He got to do like an internship where he worked side by side.
Yeah, that's it. ToyBoyz 80 was just talking about it on their podcast too, on Mythic Legions. That's weird.
That's pretty dope. I haven't seen this. This is pretty.
Well, they get to do an internship, Chris. Eric, that's cool.
That was just, I think, something you signed up for during the convention. So it was like maybe like a 2 or 3 hour kind of.
The repaint's really cool too. But that's how a lot of the guys who work for Mythic Legions now started. They just started as fans, and they started doing extra stuff, and now they work for the company. And what's cool about these too is that they make them so that you can customize them and stuff. Like they were saying that there's guys that make parts and stuff. Like their company just makes like accessories and add-on parts, and they welcome that. They welcome people doing stuff like other companies. Like sometimes people make customs and stuff like that, and they give them cease and desist orders and stuff.
Yep.
Like this company welcomes people to take their figures like a step further. I think that's really cool.
Very cool.
But yeah, I was bringing up Mythic Legions because a friend of mine was he was comparing like the head sculpt or the paint on a $25 Hasbro figure to a $55, $60 Mythic Legions figure. And I was just like, these are like almost two totally different markets. I mean, you've got Hasbro's the mass market retail.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, Mythic Legions is I've never seen them physically in a big box store. They're just Entertainment Earth or direct. I bought the Jacob Marley figure direct from them. So I mean, it's just two totally different worlds. I'm like, well, yeah, sure. If Hasbro charged $60 for the figure, I'm sure they could make it look way better.
Plus they're not as mass produced. They're like made to order, most of them. Like they live off their pre-orders. Yeah.
So they know how many they have to make. Those probably hold their value that much better than something from Hasbro, because there's not all this extra stock that's going down to the
Yeah.
Ross of the world or whatever, sitting on Walmart clearance. They're making a set amount and that's it. So yeah, the buy
Yeah.
two. That's why I did the buy two, sell one strategy with the headless horseman. I thought I can't go wrong with this, right? This thing's going to double in price or whatever. But nobody seems to want to. I don't know. Maybe just too specific of a holiday item that.
I
And
mean, it's as like a horror fan though, like I think that's like an awesome figure. Like, I mean, even like the Krampus figure, I think that's like a badass figure. Like, I just don't have room to display that stuff. That's why I still have like the Cosmic Legions too in the box. Like, but because like I've seen people who have Mythic Legions, and it's like their whole collection is that.
I'm
But
already struggling with like I've only got one shelf for He-Man and it's pretty much full. And I'm like, stop releasing figures. My shelf is full.
dude, some of those Mythic Legions where they're like He-Man inspired, like those are really cool. Like they have one that's like Panther and Battle Cat, like the color scheme.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Speaking of He-Man, so Mondo released the what's Skeletor's cat that he rides? Is that the Battle Cat?
Panther.
Panther, yeah.
They just released last month, well, the pre-order for Panther, but I was like, I already got the Battle Cat, and I was like, why did you get it? Because I think I got one of the He-Mans from them, and I got the badass Skeletor they brought out like a year and a half ago for Mondo. So, but
Well,
I
you
was
move
like,
around so much, Avery, you can't display anything really, right? I mean, you don't have a display anywhere, right?
all I know is I got everything new in box. So if I ever hit a financial snag, I'd be good.
Yeah.
Or one day you're
Yeah.
gonna move into some hopefully really big house where you can just deck the place out.
Well, some other news that kind of was unfortunate, a little bit, but not unexpected, was Playmates has announced that they are done with their Star Trek line, which I think a lot of us saw coming because they weren't really doing anything with it, and they finally just made the announcement. I mean, any thoughts? Any thoughts on that?
So I wanted to add something. So
yeah,
maybe I'm late to the game because I just got back in the last 2.5, 3 months. So I was at Target the other day, and it was the one of the Targets in the Richmond area. I can't remember which one.
yeah.
And they re-released the Enterprise D.
Yes, yeah,
Ship.
yeah.
So was that recently, or had that been out?
That's within the last couple of months. Yeah, it's a fairly recent release.
So
yeah,
they didn't do an exact replica because some of the sounds, because I have the original ones up in my attic, I think, or in my storage. The sounds are different because the 3 buttons, the sounds are different for when you make press the buttons for the phaser, because there's a couple of extra talking voices, because I actually played with it in the store the other week.
Yeah.
To see if it was the exact same one. Like the box is the same, but they've changed some stuff on the sounds. And I saw a couple of other things that they had, like the phaser, the original series phaser, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I almost was like, well, what was the point of buying the new stuff? It's this, you can still find old stuff out there.
Yeah.
They overproduced a lot of the regular figures. It's the specialty figures that are kind of harder to find.
Yeah.
For some Playmates.
Well, from what I understand from Playmates, the ships and those like cosplay kind of toys that you're talking about, like the phaser, the tricorder, those I feel like, from what I understand, those usually sold pretty decently. It was the figures that did not sell well. The Enterprise D you're talking about, when I saw it, I was pretty underwhelmed. I thought it was cool that you could separate the saucer because you couldn't do that with the one in the 90s. So it was cool to see this one, has the saucer separation. But when you look at the paint job on the underside of it, there's nothing there. It's like, it looks terrible. I don't even think they painted that phaser arc on the bottom half of the saucer section.
And that's black.
Yeah, it just looks, it doesn't look good. From the top, it actually looks pretty good. And if the bottom matched the detail of the top, I think it would be a good looking ship that I might have even bought for myself. But once I saw the bottom of it, I was like, nah. I'm good. I'm good on that. And,
the carpet doesn't match the drapes.
That's the issue. Carpet doesn't match the drapes, and we all know that the Enterprise has some pretty amazing carpet. The bridge essentially looked like a hotel lobby. But
Resurrected for season 3 of Picard. They got the carpet just right.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They did get it just right.
The carpet.
The carpet. Yeah. But yeah, so that was kind of my issue with the Enterprise. But I think the like you were talking about the phasers and stuff like that. I think those look pretty good. And I mean, I don't need them personally, so I didn't get them. But I don't know. I just feel like
that the figures were not in the same scale as the old figures.
I think when you're talking about a problem with the line, that's the first problem. Is that they were a little taller than the ones from the 90s were like on a 4.5 inch kind of a scale. These were more like a 5 or 5.5, so they didn't line up really well. The articulation was kind of nice because you could actually seat these figures because they have those joints like in the hips, so you could actually seat them without them looking super awkward.
But it's not going to evoke the same nostalgia like with the with the Origins line. It was the exact same shape,
100%.
height. They just added all the articulation and everything in there.
That's where I think Playmates messed up with this line. That's one of the ways I think they messed up with this line was the scale. The scale was different. Plus the faces just looked terrible. Like, and I don't know if you saw, but there was a first wave where they almost looked unfinished. Like that's how just inarticulate the faces were. But then a few months, 6 months later down the line, there was almost like another release of the figures where they were much more detailed and they looked much better. And I was like, well, if they looked like this the first time around, I feel like more people would have purchased them because they just look so much better. But at the same time, if you have, Playmates made over 200 of those figures in the 90s. If you've got 200 of those on display and you want to start adding to that, and they don't scale up, like if you've got a new Picard and a new Riker and they're a half an inch taller than the other Picard and Riker and all the other figures, then who wants that? Nobody wants that. So I feel like it's where Playmates shot themselves in the foot. Plus, I just feel like they make a lot of missteps as a company in general. They seem to, I don't know, it just seems like there's maybe like one boomer who's in charge of like their social media marketing or something, because there's almost never anything that they're putting out there on Facebook and Instagram or anything. You know what I mean? So it's just hard to really get hyped about a product that they're not really pushing in a way that
they don't mess up on turtles.
Yeah. They spend a lot of focus, but I mean, they have the mold. Literally, those turtles, like what we were just talking about, those turtles are the same exact thing that they released in the 90s, right? Those same molds. They're literally the same molds that they had, and I think those are selling really well because of it, and they're pushing it, which is smart because it's such a big market. Of course, people want Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but the Star Trek line. I don't know why they didn't do the same thing. I don't know why they didn't say keep the same scale, the same detail, by and large. And we'll just keep, continue that line from 20 plus years ago. I don't know why they didn't do that, but just a big misstep from Playmates. I think they really messed up.
I don't feel like the thirst for Star Trek action figures is there just like for Ninja Turtles action figure.
No, never. No.
Yeah.
No.
Much smaller market.
No, it never will be. But I feel like if you can still at least get a fraction of that market, if you can still appeal to that Star Trek collector, because unfortunately, like when you look at a lot of toy lines, McFarlane is one of them that was like, hey, let's make some Star Trek figures, and they just stopped at the 2. Right? I think they made Kirk and Picard, and they were like, okay.
Got burned on that one.
Yeah.
Really? McFarlane had Star Trek?
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah, I think Chris has them back there. Yeah.
Picard and Kirk, which is like one of the best Kirk figures that's ever come out. I think the likeness is really good on it,
especially for the
which
price.
Was it William Shatner or Chris Pine?
Shatner.
What year was this?
Oh man,
4 years ago or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Find the date on the figure. Is it stamped on the figure somewhere?
Like the foot.
Bottom of the foot.
Yeah, it looks like it was about 5 years.
2018.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, if it was 2018, I was gone then, so I probably heard about it or read about it and just didn't.
No, a lot of people. It went under the radar for a lot of people. Like whenever I hear people talk about him, and they're like, "Oh, McFarlane made Star Trek figures." Like they. It sucks too because the next figures that they had scheduled were like Spock and Burnham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't do them. But the thing is, like, I think Star Trek collectors, they want to collect. So it's like if you only give them like 2 figures or like 4 figures, you're not giving them an option. There's such a wide variety of characters and like different I mean not franchises, but like different, there's Generation and the original series and Deep Space. Everyone has their own like series that they want, that they like. So it's like, I think that was another thing that I think hurt the line, because in the original, they gave you like 10 figures at least, which each wave.
I know I was pretty let down by this, because I mean they weren't expensive and they looked really good. It was pretty promising. I ordered those first 2 right off the bat.
You got them? You got them, Eric?
Yeah, I never opened them actually. They're in the pile. But I think that was it. Once it seemed like no more were coming out, then I was like, well, I'm just gonna display 2 of them like by themselves. Like,
that is a little weird. Yeah. I'm kind of with Chris on that. Like, if I'm gonna display it and collect it, like I'm not a completist per se, but I need some sense of completion there. That like this is the crew from that series, or these are something to that effect. Personally, for me, I think that's why I know some of you were reluctant to get into the Super 7 line of Star Trek Ultimates that were released on pre-order a while ago. Did anybody get in on that, the Super 7 Star Trek Ultimates at all?
Is that the ones in the big box or the little 6-inch, 4-inch ones?
The bigger ones are the Ultimates. The little ones are the reaction figures that you're talking about.
Okay.
I ended up not getting those. I canceled those pre-orders after Guinan was canceled, and it seemed like things were faltering, and I was afraid of the McFarlane situation happening to me again. So I just thought I'd do more of a wait and see approach.
It very well could. That very well could be the situation. Let me pull this photo up real quick so Avery can see what we're talking about here. So
they still have her up in the picture.
That's what's pretty messed up, is they canceled this Guinan figure, but she's still. So Avery, this was meant to be the first wave of figures. Mm-hmm. And I remember when they announced it, I was reluctant, but I was like, you know what? And this might sound weird, but I was like, if Riker comes with a trombone and Data comes with a violin and Spot, then I'll do it. Oh, and if Guinan comes with that phaser that she's holding right there, I was like, then I'll do it. And literally, she came with a phaser, and then the Locutus just looks pretty good. So I like the first wave, but then like Eric said, that there weren't enough orders for Guinan, so they had to cancel Guinan. So really, the first wave is these 3 figures. The second wave is Picard and Worf. And then that's kind of where they're at. They're stalled right now. It just feels like we might get another McFarlane situation, which I'm hoping not. I'm hoping these will start to ship soon, and maybe we'll start to see more of these come out. Hopefully, is personally what I'm hoping, because I hate to see that kind of broken record of, since even before some of us were born, that Star Trek merchandise has struggled, even back in the 60s and 70s with licenses and trying to sell stuff. And Playmates had such like a hit on their hands in the 90s. I think you can't replicate that, but it would just be nice if they could get a fraction of that, a piece of that bag. I feel like whenever the merchandise is doing well, the franchise is doing well, if that makes sense. So
it's weird to me because before Eagle Moss went belly up, I mean, they were releasing those ships, the smaller scale ones, and then they had the XL edition, and they were kind of starting over, and they released at least maybe 15 or 20 of the XL ones, but they had like 200 of those small ships over a period of years. They were releasing those, and that wasn't the reason they went belly up. I don't think they started getting too aggressive with like, now we're going to make ships for the Orville and Battlestar Galactica and Doctor Who figures and wrestling figures and weird stuff that they weren't really wasn't their core audience. But so I think the Star Trek, just by the longevity of that line, was successful. So it seems like it can happen, but maybe it needs to be more of a niche company doing more direct sales or sales just through the fan channels, and not Playmates trying to sell to mass market, Walmart, Target, etc. Because there's just not enough the general population. There's not enough Star Trek fans, but
I
there
think
are enough of us that we can support a line if good, and they just don't get overzealous with it.
I think you kind of described Exo 6 perfectly, because they're making these great looking figures that are, marketed and shipped directly to us from their website and from, specialty stores like Big Bag Toy Store and Time Walker and Sideshow and all these different places. What were you going to say, Chris?
I was going to say, like also like talking about this is like kind of Big Chief Studios, the company that was doing all the 1/6 scale Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah.
They started doing other figures, like they started doing like Flash Gordon and James Bond and Peaky Blinders. Then everything started to unravel and fall apart. They were doing Thunderbirds figures too, the old TV show. But it's I don't know why they branched out in that, because Doctor Who was like their bread and butter. All the Doctor Who stuff that they did, like, always did well, always sold. People were like, oh, when's the next figure coming out? And then they started picking up all these different licenses and doing other stuff. And I think they just bit off more than they could chew.
They're gone, right? Big Chief is gone. They're done.
Yeah. I think they sold a lot of their stuff to Master Replicas.
Oh, yeah.
The remaining stuff that they had.
I know that's where Eagle Moss stuff went too, right? Was Master Replicas.
Yeah, and then like I think the company that was before Exo 6, QMX.
Yeah.
Remember they got a bunch of those captain's chairs that they were like blowing out.
Yeah. I got one of those. Yeah. It was like a fraction of the price of what
I think I paid $100 for it, or like, yeah, and I was like, oh, this is a good deal. But after seeing them sell for $50, I was like, oh man.
What was the Kirk that you got with that? Because didn't you get the Kirk too that they had set up?
Yeah, I got the original series Kirk. That was a QMX one.
QMX, right.
Yeah, and I think I paid $250 for that. So it was like $350 for the Kirk and the chair. And that Kirk is awesome, but I have him all the way down at the bottom of my other case over here. Yeah, I have the motion picture Kirk.
Oh, from Exo 6.
Yeah, I don't want to have like 3 Kirks up there
trying to fight each other.
Yeah.
You have a multiverse going on.
If I had room, yeah. If I had room for it. Because I definitely want to get that Wrath of Khan Kirk too when it comes out.
Oh man, that looks eventually. So good. Yeah, that looks really good.
Well, one thing I wanted to say was, Diamond Select had them ships coming out for a while.
Yeah.
About a good 5-6 year run. I collected them. I got the Enterprise E, All Good Things D.
Yeah.
Do I have one of the Bird of Praise, the Excelsior? I think I had the Enterprise B, the original Enterprise, and I had the Rathacon Enterprise refit. Like, it looked like it's about to explode from Star Trek 2, and the original Rathacon Enterprise non-battle damage. And I think I might have the Star Trek 6 Enterprise A. I had to go back and look. But that line was out a good 5, 6, maybe 7 years.
Oh,
I thought it was still out, but then I went on Diamond Select's website and it's gone. They don't even have it like as a historical on there. The thing I would get probably if I could is the Romulan Bird of Prey from Balance of Terror.
Well, they teased us for quite a while with Reliant.
Oh yeah, they didn't bring that one out.
And an Enterprise C.
Mm.
It was weird. The Reliant, I swear it was like for 3 years they were talking about it. And there was minor updates at whatever convention they would go to every once in a while, but it just seemed like no progress was being made on it. And then it sounded like the Enterprise C was going to somehow jump ahead of it, which was kind of weird. It's like, you invested so much in this Reliant, how could it not come out? Like, I don't know. They had this whole weekly thing called like Ask DST, where you could send in like questions, and then their I don't know, head of marketing or whatever,
where's my shit? Yeah,
would answer the questions, but they would never tell you anything. Like, it was the most pointless waste of time. You would ask, is any more Star Trek coming out? And they would be like, we're not at liberty to mention anything at this time. Kind of just boilerplate PR BS kind of stuff. And I just got so frustrated with them. I was like, and now the line is dead now. But I just hate not knowing why. Like, what happened? Like that.
Yeah.
Was the quality from the factory just complete crap, and it was just you couldn't resolve it or something? You couldn't get them to deliver a ship that met your standards, and so you canceled it? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they had a model kit of the Reliant that's pretty good. I mean, how hard is it to make the daggone thing?
they made so many other ships. Like, you were just listing them all off. I mean, they made at least 10 or 15 ships that turned out really well. So
Really nice. Like
what happened to this one? I don't know.
This guy came in today, and I wanted to show him off. Fresh out of the box from the last toy store. Is
Nice.
Earl Sinclair from Dinosaurs.
Not the mama.
Not the mom. Exactly. This is a good looking figure right here. The box is in fantastic shape, and there's some real weight to it. There's some heft to it, so you know that there's some quality here. It's just a good looking. It looks fantastic. It looks great. I already got the baby. The baby came in a couple weeks ago, so looking forward to pairing these two together. Chris, you got something you can show off today for the audience at home for this pick of the podcast?
Yeah, I have a few things. I got this Marvel Legends figure. I already took him out, so he's like up on the shelf. But like the
Yeah.
Green
Nice.
Goblin,
Yeah,
from No Way Home.
very cool.
Pretty-
I saw that. Yeah.
Pretty nice figure. I don't know, love it or hate it. Some people are bashing it online, but I think it's a cool figure. The likeness of Willem Dafoe is good for the price. But I started Marvel Legends late, so people are like, "Oh, $50 is too much for a Marvel Legend like that." But I mean, it's pretty much a deluxe figure. Like the glider it comes with is, the glider it comes with is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Detail.
I think it's nice. It's a nice figure. Also I got this Dr. Doom. It's like a 1/6 scale figure.
Oh, nice.
I have them up there.
Who makes
Split.
that one?
Like a third party company. There's things because it's like a third party company. It's kind of like also like the head is held on with a magnet, so it's kind of like you have to just display it. Like, I mean, I don't play with these figures, but even like just moving it around a little bit, like any sudden movement will like knock the head off. But I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I like it. Oh, I also got this. I've had this for a while, but I got it signed by the actress.
Nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Honestly, I feel like she's genuinely one of the best parts of the MCU right now. She's
Totally.
very funny, very just. I think she does a great job. I think she's great. Yeah, she's probably my favorite part of that movie, honestly.
Oh yeah, she's definitely the best thing since Guardians of the Galaxy. I think her character, and her story has the potential to do more things, bigger things.
So, you got anything for us, Avery? We can check out.
All right. So I went to a fear convention, a horror convention in Richmond.
It's like a fear convention.
Back in October. So dude had this whole set. The Justice League of Gods, Gods and Monsters. So, and he had it for like at cost. He didn't jack the price up and stuff. So, of course, I got all three. So that's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So I got these back in October, and that basically completes the Bruce Timm style action figures before DC disbanded DC Direct. Because anything Batman animated series, I snatch it up. I'm a big Batman animated series fan. I found this at a store, the neutrinos from NECA.
Oh, the 3-pack? Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I have that right next to me, actually, somewhere.
Yeah, I wasn't able to pre-order that. And then, too, I got into the Mirage.
Oh, nice. The red
yeah.
shirt, Casey Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's two Casey Joneses. There's one with the red shirt, and then
Yep.
there is the blue one. The
Yep.
red shirt is the more, I guess, rare one, so I got that one.
Correct. Yep.
from Target, and then I got I found the shredder.
Oh, is it the battle damage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found him. In my other room, I forgot to get. I got the 3-pack with the shredder clones. It's the 2 clones, and then the one with like the crab arms. But instead of it being in color, it's black with like one is black with like purple highlights. One's black with reddish highlights, and I think the other one's green. It's not like the regular colors.
Right.
And then I found this at Target. I couldn't help it but get it because you see it on the back.
Triceraton.
Yeah, I found him, and that's another Mirage one. And then I got this Alfred.
Yeah, I was gonna bring those up. There's a whole wave of those that just came up for pre-order.
Yeah, so I got all of those. They already came out, and I already got them delivered from Target. But this one wasn't one of them because the original one builds the guy that can squirt ketchup sauce and stuff, Condiment Man. So the Scarecrow, Batman, Robin, and Mr. Freeze. But this one was like a bonus, I guess, in-store special. And then I also got the Bat Cycle. But they'd already released the Bat Cycle before when it was under the DC Direct. So I guess they're going back and redoing it again.
I just don't like all the cell shading they put on those figures.
Well, the DC Direct ones or the Todd McFarlane ones?
The McFarlane ones.
Oh,
they were trying to do what like I think Marvel Legends was doing with some of their animated figures, and I don't know. I just didn't think they looked good on the McFarlane ones.
Oh, and the last two, sorry, because I haven't been able to do this the whole time. I got
oh yeah, that's one of the ones from the Marvels.
Yeah, and then I got her, and then I got Miles Morales Spider-Man. So before it became super popular and everyone and their mom was doing it, whenever I went to a comic book convention, I've been going to comic book conventions since 2009. If I saw a black character, I had to get it because a lot of those, especially back in the day, and they still kind of do it now, they don't get it made in the same stockage as red counterparts. So I got some stuff in storage that would kill. Like I got some Green Lantern stuff. I got this Luke Cage that's older. I got some like rare African American stuff. So sorry, I've got to kick it over to Eric. Sorry, I didn't mean to take up the time.
Oh no, it's all good, man. It's all good.
Right, you want to see the HasLab Hiss?
Yeah, let me see what I'm getting myself into. That box is pretty heavy too.
Here we go.
That's it?
No, just kidding.
I thought it was gonna be big.
I was like, that box is heavy. Like it's not heavy, but it's got some weight to it.
I wanted to show this first so you can see for comparison.
Scale comparison. Yeah.
Okay,
I can't literally hold both at the same time. This thing is a beast. But so.
Oh wow.
Okay, that's why it's so heavy. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Under here, there's a button where it will cycle through a bunch of different light modes. So
that's cool.
Looks like a DeLorean from the front.
And
that's pretty dope.
It projects the Cobra symbol like down onto the ground in front of it.
Sick.
But you press this button like 8 times and it cycles through like 8 different combinations of like headlights and ground lights and tail lights. So that's pretty sweet.
That's in scale with the classified figures?
Right.
And
so yeah, there's a classified figure in the gunner's seat there.
That's awesome.
It came with 4 figures.
Yeah.
We unlocked all the tiers.
Yeah.
So hopefully I don't even see the driver in there.
Mm-hmm.
But what's really cool about it is it comes with a lot of different options. Like the windscreen can either be this one that's more of like a modern take on it, where the side panels will like flip up for the driver to get in and out, or it also comes with just the plain clear piece like the vintage toy. So you could choose which one you want to put on there. And there's different. You can attach. You can attach missiles onto the sides. I haven't done that yet, or a gun on the front, on the underside. So there's all these extra parts that come with it. And actually, the rear, sorry, the rear hatch opens up, which I'll see if I can get that open real quick.
There were no technical problems with it like it was with the Sky Striker?
There haven't been any issues, actually. So you open this up, there's a light that automatically comes on.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's like a
so
whole...
cool.
There's weapons in there, and there's like a seat.
They should put a toilet in there.
Does the top like open up so you can kind of use it as like a playset too, or?
You can take the turret out so you can reach down in there a little bit easier.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Or twist this and the whole thing comes out.
Oh, wow.
So you can kind of get in there with your hand, and
That's insane.
so it compared to the Sky Striker, which was, I think that was like $230, and kind of felt kind of underwhelming. This was, I think, $300, but I mean, with the lights and all the accessories and the 4 figures, I mean, they knocked this one out of the park. I mean, if all HasLabs were like this, like,
Damn, that's badass.
I'm almost like, God, I should have bought 2 of them so I could have displayed one like vintage style and one like all tricked out with the missiles and everything. But
the car they're coming out with too looks pretty dope. That like buggy looking one.
Oh, the Vamp. Yeah, that's
yeah.
And
then
has that come out yet? Or I mean, has that?
I think it's still for pre-order. I think.
Oh, okay.
You can order that from.
There's another company too called is it Valaverse or something?
Yes.
And they're that one looks really cool too. It kind of looks like a Hummer or something.
Yeah, there's like a tan one, and then there's one that's more greenish or whatever. Apparently you can fit 4 figures inside each of those. So those are way bigger than the Vamp is just like a computer. But
there's so many other companies just popping up now too. Like that one, and then like the ramen toys that are kind of just like doing other stuff to like, coincide with other figure lines. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I think that does it for today. Thanks for joining us. Wraps up another edition of the ToyBoyz Podcast. Be sure to look us up on social media at the ToyBoyz Podcast. Give us a like and follow. Make sure you listen to us you can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeart, or wherever you enjoy your podcasts. On behalf of the ToyBoyz, Avery, Chris, Eric, and myself, thanks for tuning in and keep on collecting. See you later, gentlemen.
See ya.
Thank you.
Next time. I
sent him the link, and I sent it with Aaron as well, because I think she does a pretty good job of keeping him organized. All right, I'll wait a couple more minutes to see if we hear from Jared, and if not, we'll just get started, and hopefully he pops up, and then we can just bust his balls for showing up late.
Aaron's they're probably fighting right now. It's probably like, Jared, fold your clothes. Sorry, Jared.
Honestly, I legitimately think he just forgot. Like, I think the only reason he remembers is because Aaron just reminds him.
All right, it was at the post office. Some lady had like a little dish, and I took one, and I was like, "Oh my god, this tastes just like a fucking guava." No, so I bought like 2 huge bags on Amazon. Now I'm showing my age because I carry it in my pocket all the time, and I'm like, "Oh, would you like some hard candy?"
You want a hard candy, little boy?